Oh, no countdown tonight?
I guess not. It didn't come through.
And we're on.
And here we are. Yeah, no countdown. It just jumps right in. Yeah, shouldn't have done that, but it did that to me the other day too. Anyway, welcome everyone. And my light's doing weird things again. We're here to review Star Trek Strange New Worlds episode 3 in season 3, which is called Shuttle to Kenfori. Very interesting episode, I will say. Greg, I'll let you start tonight.
Oh, wow. Okay. This was interesting. It was kind of a fresh thing for them. I guess they continued on the popularity of the darker Gorn episode and tried another horror episode. So it was really good to see. It wasn't perfect. Loved the shots of the shuttle. And one thing I forgot to mention last week, I loved the additions to the opening sequence. I knew we were going to get to see Klingons this season. I just didn't know how quickly. So it was pretty cool. It was a good idea. Great episode from M'Benga and Captain Pike. And, it was good to see them pair up and have an episode together. It was good to see more of the shuttle set because I love that shuttle. And it was neat to actually see a new world.
Mm-hmm. That is true. Aaron.
I was enjoying this episode until I wasn't. I think it was because it turned into a sequel to a story which, when we reviewed it last year or last season, I don't think we all enjoyed it. And I think that kind of bothered me. I love the horror zombie thing. I think that was great. Like Greg said, seeing the shuttle, I wish they had a practical shuttle exterior, but that shuttle is really cool. It was a great pairing again, taking us till season 3 to have M'Benga and Pike together. It was a great M'Benga episode. It's nice to see some more Klingons, and I enjoy the fact that they're trying to bridge the gap between the original series Klingons and the Discovery version Klingons. But yeah, I feel like it started, a really cool idea for a story started to go off a bit, and that was annoying. So yeah, that's my overview.
So you enjoyed the zombies?
Yeah, I like the Enterprise episode. I think it's called Impulse from season 3, where they go on the Vulcan ship that the Vulcans have been exposed to Trellium.
Yeah,
I love that episode. That's one of my favorites. And I think what they've realized this show does well is different genres of stories, and
not the same old thing all the time.
Yeah, and the fact that it's not serialized allows that to happen, and that's what happened the same in Enterprise as well. It was a zombie story first.
Yeah, and I think don't say that word Z.
That was fun.
That was funny. I enjoyed it. As I was telling Aaron before we went on air, I kept getting distracted by other things in the real world that I was like, leave me alone. But people were not leaving me alone for some reason. So phone calls. I almost turned off the phone, but I said, no, I can't turn off the phone because I was expecting somebody to call me back. So whatever. So it was my fault, but I only got to see it twice. I usually like to see the Star Treks 3 times, but I only saw it twice. I thought it was interesting that there was really a different, at least I felt there was a different dynamic on the bridge when number 1 was in charge. At least it seemed like it to me. I don't know if you two felt that at all or not, but I just felt the bridge was different.
Yeah.
I mean,
certainly she had a different hairstyle.
Well, yeah.
It took me a while to get over that.
Well, I know, and I never got over it, to be perfectly honest. I kept going, what is this? Okay, well, they're all acting a little different.
I think her hair would have been cuter if it wasn't so matte black. It was really hard to tell that it was braided at first. It looked like she was wearing a hat.
Well, Uhura changed her style this season too.
That was really cute.
Yeah.
The one with it all pulled back and still natural, that
Mhm.
was adorable.
I'm assuming the reason why they did that was because of the zero gravity thing. They couldn't animate everyone's hair, so I think all the women on the bridge had their hair pulled back or done up in a way that it didn't mean it was floating. So I that seems like a practical reason,
That could be. I didn't even think of that.
but it was a drastic change for number one, I think.
Interesting. I didn't even think of that aspect.
I didn't either.
Of it.
I mean, it was that was another interesting, as you brought that up, when they kind of semi-lost gravity, and some people were floating, some people were holding on for dear life.
That was
It was
fun. I
yeah.
like that they also added Scotty down in the
Yes.
transporter room where Scotty seemed to spend a lot of his time in the first season of the original series.
Yeah.
So I think the bridge was a little more strict / formal to emphasize what's going on with Ortegas.
Maybe so. Maybe that's what the difference was, because she was off the wall. That's the way I would put it. From what
And when the episode started, she seemed back to herself.
Yes, she did. But then as it progressed and things got hairy, she just seemed to kind of lost it for a little while. Did she, she would get disobeying orders, doing what she wanted to. Did she do the right thing? Maybe, but yeah, it was insubordinate. So I don't know, and I don't know where they're going with this with her.
Yeah, and even with the PTSD, it seemed slightly out of character for her.
Yeah.
To accelerate to be knowing they would be caught by the Klingons. I mean, that seemed contrived to have the battle scene with the two ships.
Yeah.
There was also a bit where when they're talking about her in the ready room or briefing room, and I think La'an says, well, Ortegas, can be rude. And I was like, I never think of that character as like rude.
No,
general.
I agree with you on that. Yeah.
I feel like their handling of her changing character from a mental health perspective was very poor. Like the at the end where she's like, number one, I feel like my gut question would have been, are you okay? Is something bothering you? Erica, this isn't like you. We need to talk about this. And I feel like those kind of things weren't said. And the fact that this is set in the future, and obviously they're going to have a different perspective on mental health, hopefully a better one than current day. Yeah, it felt like a very dated version of, oh, well, you passed your psych exam, you must be fine. You're just being a dickhead. And
yeah,
that really took me out of this. That was another issue for me.
I mean, and in the earlier seasons, I mean, I enjoyed her snarkiness. I thought, she says the things other people are thinking, and Pike's informality allows it to happen. I would think she would know to behave differently under Una, but maybe they're just continuing not being sure how to write her PTSD.
Yeah,
because I mean, La'an's was spot on. The panic attacks, the you know, actually being frightened, all of that, I thought was amazing. But this thing with Ortegas just seems to be, I don't know. It's
Off.
yeah. Yeah, because I mean, she really didn't go through anything different than anybody else that was in that landing party that was on the Gorn ship went through. Other than maybe having half of her hand blasted away.
Yeah,
But,
it's
I
a
mean,
very it's a contrived sort of it kind of reminds me of like B'Elanna Torres in Voyager, where she finds out that the Maquis have all been killed, and she goes on that sort of thrill-seeking death arc for in one episode that's never spoken of again. But like, yeah, it just felt like, okay, the fact that she was bleeding out, she was in a high energy, high adrenaline situation piloting that ship, and now maybe she's also looking for more of those thrills to deal with her trauma. I don't know, but
I
yeah.
hope she's not going the way of later season B'Elanna.
It's also funny though, because I remember the in the first season where they do that what if Pike was in the Balance of Terror, she ends up playing that very like xenophobic navigator role that was in the original episode.
Yes, exactly.
And I thought that's a weird thing for this character who's
I thought
none
the
of these
same thing.
traits. Yeah.
No,
And
it
then
didn't make sense. It didn't make sense from what we had known about her before.
and that's how I feel about this, where it's like we've just grafted another personality on this person.
Yeah. Yeah, I suspected with that one, it's like I think they wanted to cast someone for the role of the navigator from Balance of Terror, but either couldn't or didn't, because it seemed like they just gave somebody else's lines to
literally
her for that episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But despite that, I mean, I really enjoyed her character throughout the series so far. Despite these writing issues.
But well, hopefully they fix it. But I don't know.
Yep. The one piece that I really could have done without was the dragged out. I know it was a major reason for the episode, but the dragged out stuff between Pike and his girlfriend. If they wanted, I mean, I know they were setting up that she was going to be leaving the ship and everything, but I mean, she's still going under this treatment. They didn't really apply the treatment yet. By the end of the episode, it just seemed like something that could have been spaced out more than, oh, the episode's over now. Oh, no, it's not. We have to have this other scene.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
It was kind of like tacked on at the end. Yeah. I agree.
So, I mean, maybe they were, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and maybe they're constrained with, how much they can have her around, but she's going to have that weird, that chimera flower applied to her to allow for the Gorn genes to be accepted.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be strange.
I assume these are all like plot points that are just going to hopefully be wrapped up at the end of the season. Like the next Gorn season finale episode is going to have something to do with Erica dealing with her demons and Patel being a half hybrid, whatever. But yeah, I thought she was fine after the first episode. So it was kind of, I felt like we went backwards.
Yeah.
With this. Yeah.
Yep. It's like, is it something that they added in because they had another idea?
Maybe. Or they realized, oh, we probably have to get rid of her somehow. and they didn't take the opportunity the first time, and then they go, well, maybe we could do this, and I don't know. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. So,
Maybe.
yeah.
I didn't. Going back to Mbenga, which I did enjoy. I liked how smart and versatile they made him seem. Right from the beginning with Pike quipping, "Oh, he never gets caught," and then him doing the aside to Spock, "I never get caught." So I and on the planet, you saw the combatant come out again. Even though I agree with Aaron on the, dragging up the thing with the Klingon ambassador again. It was really good. I mean, I thought he did a really good job. Being put on the spot to admit that he did indeed kill the Klingon woman's father, and him conversing differently with Pike than he was with her. It just really emphasized his acting chops, I think. Probably more so than some of the other episodes that have focused on him, but certainly not what I call the MASH episode, which I think was outstanding.
I still have nightmares about that. That's still incoming transport.
Yeah.
I still think of that sometimes, and it's like, why is that still in my mind? That was a long time ago.
That was like, for an atypical Star Trek episode, that was probably their best crafted episode.
Yeah. I think seeing the effects of the Klingon War from normal people's perspective, or people that aren't in the kill zone, I think that is interesting. And I guess what was interesting in this episode as well, the fact that there was this base that was in Klingon space, and it was a research thing, and somehow when the Klingons invaded, they turned into these half human, half zombie, whatever. That was the interesting part. Just like in that previous episode, the interesting part was the sort of medical triage bit. So yeah.
Yeah, and I like the idea of there were no life signs, all flora. So it's not really only zombies, but their DNA was written.
Flora zombies.
Reading his plant.
And they had little, if you looked at some of them, I mean, it looked like they were plants. I mean, they had.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it was right near the end when they were zooming in on some of them. It's like they had leaves seemed to be coming out of their face. At least that's what I noticed.
Yeah, the lesions on their skin looked more like lichen than they did like lesions.
Mm-hmm.
So the makeup was pretty good on those too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Babs did a great job at the knife fight too. I think he reused some of his skills from Dune.
That training helped, right?
I think so, and he wasn't up against Paul Atreides.
No, that helped probably too.
I still say Babs should have played Stilgar in that. As much as I like the actor that did play Stilgar, I think seeing Babs play him through the 3 films would have been entertaining, and especially now seeing him in Strange New Worlds. I mean, his performance was really, really good.
And what was your favorite part of the episode? Did you have a favorite part or sequence of events that was your favorite or anything? Because I'm trying to think of that myself. That's why I'm thinking out loud.
Okay, so mine would have been when the Klingons ambushed them, and then the zombies ambushed everybody. I think that initial climax of the episode was probably had the best lead up, the best execution of the entire episode. What do you think, Aaron?
Yeah,
I think I would agree. I think I was enjoying it from the shuttle to the planet up until it was revealed that they needed the flower because up until the point where they were like, she's going to be a hybrid from the flower. I was there for that. And then after that, I just was out of it.
Well, I'll have to say my favorite part was kind of when I laughed really loud, kind of, and I shouldn't have laughed, but I did. Was when the Klingons first came, and they're flying over, and they said, "Oh, they haven't seen us," and then they blow up their shuttle. So, oh, they have. And then,
Yeah,
and I did laugh, and I felt bad that I laughed because I like that shuttle too. Then I went, well, how are they going to get home?
That was good, and I mean that's one of the things. It's like when Strange New Worlds keeps the humor to like the level of the original series, it works.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they like them, you know, like the personal conversation when they were actually, you know, approaching the planet and they were talking about the party with the cigars and the manga, you know, not being able to get out the shuttle doors fast enough to vomit.
Yeah. I did. The one thing that kind of got me at the beginning was when they were showing, you know, previous scenes from last week's episode or whatever. And then they brought in all the Klingon ambassador to the Federation. And I go, why are they bringing him up? I mean, that was my first thought. I said, why are they bringing him in here? That was ages ago.
Then you forget all about it.
Then you forget all about it. And then and I went, oh, that's what it was. Okay.
I figured it was the only thing that they'd done before with Klingons, and we were, oh, okay, the planet's in Klingon space. We're gonna see Klingons, and we saw some Klingons.
We saw some Klingons, some zombie Klingons, and some.
Yep. I had forgotten actually about the Discovery Klingons, and I remember thinking, wow, their armor's really gold. It just was styled more like the film Klingons.
Yeah.
Yeah, always interesting, right? Well, anything else you want to bring up on this episode, or I think we covered a lot of it that I remember.
I found the whole thing about Pike being left out of the discussion, even if Patel didn't want to include him in it, was, I can see, not talking about the risks. She's willing to accept the risks. They're not really married, but it was on his ship. He's the captain. So it's I had trouble understanding why they wrote it that way, when as the captain I would think he would have, he was included in having to go to the planet, but not included in the in the risks of it,
Yeah, or I suppose the real agenda behind it he wasn't included on. It was a bit strange.
I think what would have been better is if they didn't know about the volatility of it until they got to the planet. And discovered the disaster and the zombies and everything.
Yeah.
I think that probably would have been, once they looked at the script and did the table reads and talked about it, and it I would have rewritten that. To take the bite out of it, and then rather than have the argument between Pike and Patel be about her not telling him, have them figuring out about accepting that risk together or something.
Yeah. And it would have leaned more into the whole thing of like, oh, this is a mystical plan and we don't know, really much about it. But knowing so much about it at the start kind of makes the way they introduced it not necessary.
Yeah, because it sounded like they were researching it. It showed this promise, but then the war happened and the planet was contested and nobody's supposed to go there.
Yeah, and they didn't. It was like both the Klingons and the Federation agreed not to go there. Whoever was in charge, they knew what had happened, but they didn't seem to tell anybody. At least that's how I took it off.
Yeah.
They didn't say anything to anybody. Then the Klingons put that thing, don't come here, you're gonna die. And that was kind of interesting.
We should rename these to, instead of Trekking Across the Universe review shows, we should call it Fan Film Dudes Try to Rewrite Episodes After They've Been Aired.
There you go.
Or AKA Go Back or Die.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that though. I love the that they had, like, my car has one of those screens in the middle of the dashboard. I love that they had that. I mean, I don't get like video calls over it or anything, but I kind of like that aspect of the shuttle too. They always wanted, like, one of the things with Gene was he wanted it to seem like it was somebody's living room or somebody's car, and I think that update lended itself to making it car-like.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, does anyone in the chat room want to bring something up? They've been very quiet this episode, but they don't have anything. I think that's about it for me.
Yeah. It was a tight episode, so we'll keep the comments tight.
Yeah, keep the comments tight. So, everyone.
Oh, wow, it's been a very quiet chat room.
I just told you it has. But anyway, we're going to be coming back next week, same time, same place, to review episode 4 of season 3.
This one will be interesting, I think.
I see. I'm trying to pull up. Of course,
it is called a Space Adventure Hour.
Wait, what?
A Space Adventure Hour. This may be the holodeck story, I think.
Oh, okay.
Oh, are they going to another Goofy episode already?
Just for you, Greg.
It's directed by Jonathan Frakes. We've got Captain Kirk coming back. Again. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. A space.
That's still Paul Wesley, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to see if they say who the writers. No, they're not.
Well, I'll keep my fingers crossed if Mr. Frakes is directing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If he's directing, maybe it'll be a good one.
Okay, so the description is, this episode incorporates a murder mystery theme. When La'an is testing a prototype holodeck with a fictional case only she can solve, the consequences of failure get greater and greater, with the Enterprise hanging in the balance. So I feel like
That sounds familiar.
70s Dixon Hill type episode.
We'll find out next Thursday.
You'll find out next Thursday. But everyone here at NDB Media, thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us. Please tell your friends. And please now Papa Sock says something. I've been quiet because I haven't caught up on the season yet. That is a good reason, Papa Socks. Then I'll totally let you get a buy for that. But everybody
Are you
else-
waiting for a really good episode to actually get into it?
But I do love your analyst. Okay. Okay.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
But it'd be nice if you watched the episode and you could participate. But I'm not going to say anymore. But everyone, have a great time.
Good night.
See you next week. Good night.
Bye.